You need to go overseas. At the beginning of 2025, I went on my first international trip to Bangkok, Thailand. For the past 23 years of my life, I had never been more than a 2-hour flight away from home. I'm technically lying here, as only a few months before getting to Thailand, I had gone on my first actual international trip to New Zealand. But we are just going to ignore that fact, as I want this video to solely focus on Thailand and how that experience impacted me. Since I was a kid, the world and other countries fascinated me. But they seemed so unbelievably far away, to the point in my mind that they couldn't possibly be real places. These foreign worlds only existed in movies and television. For context, I live in Australia. And if you know anything about Australia, you would know it is very expensive for us to travel to most countries, solely due to how far away we are from everything. So as soon as I got the opportunity to go to one of these places, I took it. Sure, it may be quite late for my first time to be traveling in my early 20s, but that's just how things played out. So many people my age have already seen so much of the world, which definitely makes me feel like I'm behind. But everyone's life plays out at different paces, and I'm going to focus on the fact that I'm getting to experience all this now, and how exciting it all is. Although the trip seemed quite simple on paper, 11 days in total, majority of them spent in the center of Bangkok, and the other 2 spent in the countryside. It was the feeling this trip gave me that stuck with me much more than just the amazing food and the sightseeing of this beautiful country. It was a feeling of uncharted territory, of a world expanding before my eyes. To someone else who may have travelled since being a kid, this might sound stupid and I'm overreacting, but to me it felt important. I think back to my first night after arriving in the city, the surreal experience of it all. Not only had I never spent so long on a plane before, I also had a slight feeling of fear due to the concerning fact of how far away I was from home. I couldn't just get in a car and drive home at this point. Well, I could try, but I wouldn't make it very far. Never getting to leave my hometown for basically my entire life had made everything about home feel way more important and heavier than it actually was. As if the city I grew up in was the whole world, and everything that happened in it was so much more impacting. But getting to see a city just as alive, honestly more alive, than the one that I put so much importance on in my mind was just freeing. It felt as though there were so many more paths and experiences that life could offer me than what I had believed existed for the past 23 years prior. Basically, I'm trying to say this trip really opened my eyes. It made me really want to live more of my life, stop focusing on the negatives and the mundanity of it all, and really try and focus on just experiencing as much as possible before my life inevitably ends.